Asian horror is on another level, and Takeshi Miike is an auteur when it comes to hyper realistic violence. I got into a lot of his work when I was early in college. Me and my friends, we would go over, we had a Hastings at the time, and we saw a couple of his movies like 13 Assassins, to Ichi the Killer, to my personal favorite, Gozu. There are some very disturbing trends this man was able to create in the horror genre. But nothing comes close to his horror iconic masterpiece, Audition. Audition is a classic. Once you watch it, it gets embedded in your brain. It does not leave you. It is now a part of you. It's hard to describe this film because it masterfully is able to hide a movie inside something else. The plot deals with this father whose wife passes away. A couple of years pass and he's lonely, and his son who's growing up sees this and recommends, hey, you should totally get remarried. You should find love. Everyone deserves love. And so he tries, but he does it kind of in a creepy and shady way, where him and his friend, they work as TV execs, so they come up with a fake audition for young Japanese women to come on and basically, him to get to know them so that he can ultimately take them out on a date. And he meets the perfect woman. And while a lot of these elements sound like the first act in a dramatic rom-com, and that's really what it feels like, this movie is literally just a build-up to the final 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes are the most terrifying, deeply disturbing scenes that you'll see in a movie that, again, will stay with you. There is a genre called torture porn, and you can see where this has elements of that, because we're looking at torture scenes that are very visceral and they just mess with you. There's things in this movie that happen that I can't really talk about on YouTube, but if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It's aggressively violent. It's artistically violent. And that's what Takeshi Miike is so good at, is he's creating this canvas of this story that we thought we were watching, and then as one of our worst nightmares, it just veers off course and turns into something truly horrific. What if you were stuck in a situation where the person that you thought you were falling in love with actually turned out to be a sadistic torturer of people? It's done so well, and this is one of those horror movies where it's unrelenting at the thought of what could happen, and then it does happen. It's one thing to say, oh, there's a monster in your closet. You look in the closet, there's no monster. It's worse to say there's a monster in your closet. You go in there, and the monster's there, and he's looking at you face to face. So it's definitely one of those movies I highly recommend. I think it's one of the greatest foreign films of all time. And again, Asian horror is just on another level.